Hi everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. First, I want to say please excuse my congested sounding voice because I am actually very congested at the moment, but it's okay. I've been dealing with this for a while, but thank you for everyone who was giving me the well wishes for my son. He is actually doing much better. He's still out of school just to make sure it's out of his system, but he is doing much better. So, anyways, let's get right into this. So these photos are actually from Calen when he was in his winter basketball league at the YMCA. And so what I have is the little flyer from where we signed up for it, as well as two pictures. One picture is of him. Both of these are after a game, and he's sitting there eating his little snack. And then the other one is just a picture of the back of his jersey because part of this story is about his jersey number. So there's really not much of a story to this, excuse me, except for documenting the fact that he was on this basketball league. So he was on the 2015 Findlay YMCA Winter Basketball League, and it went from January 9th to February 28th. And I just cut out the part that had the co-ed pre-K league because that's where he was. And I just thought it might be interesting to have these details later on. It was $94 for him to be on the league. I thought it'd be interesting to have these details later, so which is why I included it. And then it also kind of gives me the blue, a little bit of the purple, and the white color scheme, and I'm going to play off of that in the background. Or rather in the layout itself. So this is kind of the basic layout. I'm just going to put the photos at the bottom and put the little cutout piece at the top. Now that cutout piece is very, very thin because it's just on a regular sheet of like computer paper. So I'm going to end up backing that on some white cardstock so you cannot see through it like you can right now. I'm trying out every single piece in the kit. This is my stash kit number 2 for 2017, by the way, if you didn't gather that from the title. And then also, this is layout number 4 that I've done with this kit. Now I did layout number 3, but it's not actually posted yet. It's going to be posted probably tomorrow. It's more of a filler page. So for my stash kit Saturday, I wanted to have a full layout, and then tomorrow I should have another video up for you guys, and it's going to be a little bit of a bonus video because it's a layout, but it's just like a filler page for my album. I like to do a filler page at the beginning as well as the end of my album, and I have a couple filler pages that I need to get completed for my 2015 album because I actually have 2 albums for that year. So there are going to be 4 filler pages, the beginning, the end of each. So I'll be doing one of those tomorrow for you guys, hopefully, as long as I can get the voice recording done for it. But I think so. I'm off today, and I'm actually doing the voiceover for this on Friday, and so you'll see this video on Saturday. So hopefully I'll have time to be able to do the one for Sunday as well. So I'm going to use this really pretty polka dot ombre grayish neutral background paper here. I cannot remember where it's from, but if you go back to my stash kit video where I show you what I put in the stash kit, I go through each of the papers, and this is included in there. I always include a link to that video in the description box below. Sorry, Calen's sitting right here with me, and he is sniffling, snorting, whatever you want to call it. He's still very congested as well. And I wanted to mount this paper on a white background. I really like the ombre polka dot, but it just seemed to kind of be falling off the edges of the paper for whatever reason. And I felt like just mounting it on a piece of white cardstock would give it a little bit more of a complete edge. I'm also kind of playing around with some of the ribbons that I have in my kit. I have put 4 different spools of ribbon in the kit, but I haven't used any of them so far in any of the layouts. But I wanted to use something like a bit of a shelf at the bottom for these photos to sit on. And I had that lighter blue pattern paper that I was going to use, but it's just a little bit too much of a different blue. This blue satin ribbon that I'm using is a little bit closer to the blue in the YMCA logo on the little piece of paper at the top. So I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the edges and then tape it onto the back so it doesn't move. And what I do, which I wish I had been on camera for this, but what I do is for the edge that you see, the end that you see rather, I run adhesive glue along the back side of that, right on the edge, so it can't really fray. Now it could still fray if somebody was like messing with it, but in my albums it won't fray. And since I added glue runner on the back of it, it's not going to move. It's going to stay adhered right down. So I always add it to the very end of the ribbon and then just kind of little bits and pieces along the middle of the ribbon. I don't run glue all along the entire ribbon, though you could, but I'm just not that good with my glue runner. I would end up running it off the edge of it and making the edge kind of all sticky. So this is really the basis for my layout here. I added the last little bit of ribbon at the top there on the left corner to bring that ribbon up in another spot. And that was the end of that spool of ribbon. So I wanted to use it up on this layout since I already had the larger piece of ribbon on there. I didn't want that ribbon to go to waste. I'm not mounting my photos or matting my photos on anything because they already have that white border. That's enough for me, and I'm spacing them out enough that you can see a little peek of that background paper in between the photos. Now, there is a lot of things going on this layout already without even adding any embellishment. So I'm going to add a good amount of embellishment, but it's going to be small little bits and pieces. I'm not going to include lots of large pieces because I already have 2 photos, which is kind of a lot sometimes on a layout. And then I have that large, it's probably about 4.5 inches by 4.5 inch square, something like that, up at the top. It could be it's probably about 4.5 by 4.5, with that winter basketball flyer. So that is a lot already on this layout. So I'm going to go through everything that's in this kit, or a good portion of things that are in this kit, and just add little bits and pieces here and there to add to the layout, but not take away or make it too busy. And that can sometimes be a very difficult thing to do. But I feel like in the end, this one, I end up having a pretty good balance. So I first pulled out that label out of that basic gray sticker pack, and it said Our Day's Story. So I just cut off the label piece of that. I didn't need the floral bit that was on the bottom, but it would have layered underneath fine, but I had put too much glue underneath my photos, so I had to cut off a little bit of it. And then I have this other sticker from an SEI cardstock shapes sticker sheet, and it just was a block with different colors on it. So I rounded the corners of this part of it and made it like a little label under there. And then the other one I made look kind of like, I guess another label. So the one at the top looks more like a tab, and the one at the under the tab that says Our Day Story looks more like a label. I just made the edges kind of like a ticket, like a little notch on the edges to make it look like a ticket. I felt like I wanted a little bit of red on the layout, so I pulled out some of these arrows from that American Crafts sticker sheet. I think it's called #Sunshine, if I'm remembering properly. And I'm setting them to the side. As you can see, I have a few stickers kind of sitting around the side of my layout. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on if I know what direction I'm going. So I didn't know exactly what direction I was going with this layout, but I knew that these things that I have laying out around, I felt like they would add to the layout, so I just kind of have them sticking to my mat, and I will use them if I can. If I don't, I'll put them back where they go. But I didn't want to have to continuously flip through different packs of stickers trying to find something. There is this basketball stamp set that I have from Hampton Arts, and I pull it out anytime I have a basketball themed layout because it's a basketball themed stamp set. And sometimes it's very difficult to use themed stamp sets, but whenever you have something that like we have a lot of basketball photos, so anytime I have basketball photos that I'm going to scrapbook, I pull out that stamp set and see if I can use it. Now, I only used this one simple stamp, and it said basketball is life, and I actually only even used the basketball portion of it. But I have found that stamp set to be extremely versatile. Like I said, it's sometimes very difficult to use theme stamp sets, but whenever you know that you're going to have a lot of photos regarding one topic over a span of time. So I'm going to have basketball photos from basically when Calen was walking, learned how to walk, till probably on past high school and college, because he just loves basketball. So for me, it was a really good investment. Plus, I got it at Tuesday morning, so I think it was like $2.99 or $3.99, so it was really a no-brainer. When I found this stamp set, I knew I had to have it. And I've used it numerous times for different layouts, and all the layouts are not right side by side in my album. So you don't even notice that it's the same stamp set repeating, but I don't even think I've really used many of the same stamps over and over. That stamp set probably has a good 30 to 40 stamps on it, a lot of little stamp sets, or a lot of little stamps. So it's been really versatile for me to have it and use it. So this is my title. It's very small and it kind of blends in, but I'm going to use those red arrows to point to it, to kind of bring it out just a little bit. So what I have stamped out, I stamped out basketball, and then I have used those blue alpha stickers to say all day, every day. Excuse me. So it says basketball all day, every day. which is exactly what this is. Basketball is basically his life, but I think I've used Basketball is Life already as a title somewhere in my albums. Though I'm sure I've repeated other titles, I just knew that I had used that already, so I wanted to do a different title for here. Plus, I wanted to mix the alphas with the stamping. As you can see, I use those red arrows to kind of point to my title and bring a little bit of emphasis to it. It helps it stand out. Plus, it also brings a little bit of that red up to the top. So I have the red in each of the photos at the bottom and then the red at the top. So it makes a little bit of a triangle, the bottom up to the top. Now I'm going through all my little different sticker sheets and things that are in my kit to see what I can add. And I've pulled out a couple of these puffy stars from the LE Studio Sunny Days sticker sheet that you can see right here, and I pulled out a puffy sticker at the bottom that says happiness, and it's in that gray, so I'm sticking to the gray, reds, and blue tones here. And I have a Monday, it says Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday sticker right under the title, and that just kind of plays along the everyday kind of theme. Also, I have used a few word stickers. The bottom has delight, and then that's right above the happiness puffy sticker. And then I have used bliss right under the tab that says our day's story. So as you can see, I'm adding lots of little bits of things, but nothing real big. Everything is small. The biggest thing is probably the arrows, but I use that for emphasis to point to my title. When I was doing this layout, I wasn't sure how long this video was going to be because I just kept feeling like, oh, I'm not going to be able to add a whole lot. But I ended up adding a good amount, and I really like the effect of it. It's kind of subtle. There's not a whole lot of embellishment going on, but it's just enough for me. And then the very last thing I'm going to do after I get these last little few bits and pieces of embellishment on here, I'm using a little bit of washi just to ground this little chipboard heart that I'm going to put. And by the way, every time you kind of see me go off screen, I'm adding some Tombow Mono multi-glue adhesive to the back just to reinforce those little bits. I reinforce the little enamel dots as well as that chipboard piece as well as some of the other little bits, just to make sure that they stay on there permanently. So the last thing that I'm pulling out, I'm looking just for something else to add to see if there's anything else that I need. And I'm going to add a little journaling spot here to the bottom. And I'm pulling out this ticket book or journaling spot book. And there was this one that has gray, kind of like a gray checklist. And I'm going to do my journaling right on top of this. At first I kind of mess it up, so I have to get a second piece. And which is fine because I had just cut it off of a larger tag or ticket. And I'm adding my journaling, and all it says is, Calen picked his basketball number based on his age, 4. Whenever they were sitting there doling out the jerseys, he was like, I want 4, because I'm 4. Now they were all 4, but that was the one that he picked, and he also helped name the group. That was actually his suggestion. They were the Sharks. I need to make sure that that's documented somewhere. I'm pretty sure it is, but he was the one who suggested Sharks as their team name, and that's what they all agreed on. So this finishes out my layout. I'm just kind of looking around, see if there's anything else I need to add. That's what I do at the end of every layout, just kind of clean up a little bit, look and see if there's anything else that this layout needs. And then this layout is complete. That is my kit, ready and stacked up, ready for the next layout. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye.